Right. Hello, everybody. So I am here with the wonderful Lee Garratt, who is the founder of Garratt Construction Consultants, GCC for short. My name's Rory. I'm founder of the Career Agent. We do recruiting and career coaching. And I'm partnering with Lee to help him build his business, to find freelance resources that are both building surveyors and quantity surveyors. So we're going to come on to that, but we're doing this video to just get the word out, see if we can see if a freelance resource could watch this video and go, do you know what? I might give Lee a call. So quickly to start off with, Lee, do you mind giving us a brief overview of your business and another thing is, why did you start it in the first place?
Yeah, definitely. So the company itself, we're in year 2 now. So we started last year, with a view to build a consultancy of surveying services. So my role is I'm a QS by trade, but I wanted to offer something to clients where we can have an in-house solution to any surveying inquiry, whether that be quantity surveying, cost planning, contract administration, party wall surveying, dilapidations, etc. So that was the vision of the business when it started. Obviously, getting into year 1 was a case of growing the brand, getting myself out there, trying to build up a client base. Where we're now sort of into year 2, that's the business has strengthened in that area. We have got repeat clients, we've got sort of consistent workload there. So the idea now is obviously then to just reinforce that with some other people to sort of come along the journey with me to some extent, and keep pushing forwards.
Brilliant. And so what kind of projects do you have on? Like, what is an indicative project that a building surveyor or a quantity surveyor might work on with you?
So on the QSing side, primarily what we carry out is residential projects. So whether that is sort of one-off bespoke high-end residential projects or sort of smaller developments, anything from 3 to 20 unit builds, whether that be houses or flats. There is some commercial element to that. We have a reclad project in the on the books at the moment, which we're trying to push for more of those. But generally, we are looking at various different avenues on the sort of the new build or refurbishment side of things, and we're not pigeonholed into one type of construction. It could be, we could look at commercial, we can look at leisure, we can look at education, health, any of those options really. But it's just trying to get the inroads to those projects. On the building surveying side, a lot of it is around Brighton and Hove. So it's interesting because you get to deal with a lot of the heritage buildings and the Regency construction in Brighton and Hove. And there's a very large mix. Any building surveyor working in the area will know that Brighton and Hove has sort of construction from all the decades, dating back to the sort of 1700s. So it does make it very very interesting. You see a lot doing that. That also ranges from primarily residential, but we do also get some commercial instructions, either through our partners or through councils and other associations that deal with sort of maintenance of these buildings. So yeah, it's an interesting mix that we get, and we're just trying to push further into sort of diversifying that even more, really.
So I mean, you're into year 2, but it sounds to me, if you don't mind me saying, like business is going pretty well. If you're looking for more people, that means you've got too much on. So my question to you is, why do you think clients keep coming back to you?
I think they like the direct and the personable approach that we give. I think they like the fact that they're dealing with the people actually doing the work. There's no firewall as such between myself and the clients. There's we're hands-on. We give pragmatic advice we make sure, you know, that any job we're involved in, we try and add value to it. That's the sort of one of the core things that I wanted to do. I never wanted to just do a task. I wanted to make sure that that client feels they're getting real value from us, and the real experiences sort of shines through. You know, my experience is 20 plus years in the construction industry, and but primarily working on the contractor side, so actually working on building sites and watching the buildings go up. And I really wanted that to come across to our clients when dealing with them, and I think that helps. You know, we get quite a few developers ask us for advice. That tends to be a lot of pre-contract advice, because then to find their sort of their perfect deal, their perfect land acquisition, means sort of, you know, trying out a few deals first or trying to find the right ones. But they keep coming back because I think they value the honest advice they get and the quick turnaround, and the fact that we don't fluff anything up with it. It is just a case of, this is what you've asked for, and we're here to help you on that journey to get in your building at the end of the day.
So it's pragmatic advice, trying to genuinely help them and leave them in a better place than when they spoke to you, not just getting the job done, but looking at the wider picture and how your advice or your experience over 20 years can really help them in the best way possible.
Exactly.
And so at the moment you're looking for building surveyors and quantity surveyors, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
And so the first thing I want to ask you about is, so say I'm a building surveyor, I'll come and work for you. How are you going to be involved? I've heard some nightmare stories, like as a surveyor, you turn up on site and you've been sent an email, turn up at this time, and you have to work it out from there. But what's your approach to giving them all the information they need to have a sort of a good day at work and get the job done?
I think the sort of the foremost thing with that is the communication. So, you know, starting the day, if someone comes to work with me on a freelance basis, it'll be making sure that I would have my information ready to give to them at the start of that day, or before they start that day. You know, I'm happy to set people up with email accounts, etc., that are sort of through the business. So I can say to them, here's all the information you need for this day's work on Monday, Tuesday, whenever it is. This is everything we've got for this project. This is what we need. Happy to have a phone call first thing in the morning to discuss it and run through all the sort of the background information for it. And also provide sort of previous work of what we've carried out to show the standard that we give to our clients. So there's no sort of blind, just go and do this job with no support. It will be, you know, help me do this work, take charge of it, but here's the information and the forms and the parameters you need to get that job done correctly.
Brilliant. And then the kind of people that you're looking for, what attributes do you look for in people that you work with?
It sounds cliched, but obviously self-motivated people, you know, is one thing I need. We're a remote working business, so there's no sort of commuting to a centralized office. So I need people to be, one, knowledgeable, know their field, know what they're doing, to be passionate, to want to help and to carry out a good job, and to provide a good piece of work for whatever it is they may be doing. And then, like I say, just be sort of self-driven, so that when they are fully set up with things and I've given all that information, that they are happy just to get on with that work and then provide me the information. And obviously I'd always be here for support. My phone is always on. But it's just knowing that whoever comes along, I can trust them to basically provide that, because they will, what they provide is what my clients will see. So I need someone that I can trust will withhold the values of the business as well.
So clearly this might change in the future, but at the moment, do you mind explaining the kind of flexible resource that you're looking for, how many days a week, and how likely that is to, you know, is it a 3-month project or is it ad hoc? Does it depend? Do you mind giving an overview of what you're looking for, so people watching this can go, well, yeah, that's me?
Yeah, ideally I'm looking for both roles. I'd be looking for someone 2 days a week, and I'm hoping, you know, the plan is to keep that consistent for the next 6 to 12 months. what we obviously, you know, the industry things there are peaks and troughs. But my vision for it is someone that I can give 2 days of work to on a QSing side and 2 days of work to on the building surveying side. And that then just remains consistent so that I can, because I understand giving people consistency of work is more attractive than an ad hoc day here, day there. There may be times when that, you know, dips. We need to be realistic with it. But my vision is to keep growing the business. So if anything, it should become more days rather than less.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. So just you mentioned there your ambition to grow the business. So do you want to give any indication to people of what the plan is, or what, you know,
Yeah,
for the
so I
years
sort of
years to
touched on
come?
it. I touched on it at the start about sort of growing this sort of multidiscipline surveying consultancy, so that anything that comes through the door, we can say, yes, we've got someone who does that. And whether that's people who are doing it under a freelance basis, or eventually, you know, it would be great to get into a position where we can take on trainees. You know, I'm a big sort of advocate for training people in the industry, bringing people through, sharing that knowledge. So one day, hopefully, we get there. But for the time being, it's a case of really having someone in a position to carry out any work that we're asked to do, so that clients and our brand becomes known as the one-stop shop for surveying services.
Nice. It's a good vision. Is there anything I haven't asked you, that anything that's relevant in terms of the people you're looking for, the projects you've got coming up, that I should have asked you, or have we covered it all?
I think we've covered a lot of it. I think one thing that you know, we're RICS registered. We're an RICS registered firm. I'm a member of the RICS. It would be preferable to have people who are also members of the RICS. But if there are, you know, if someone was to approach me who wasn't a member but was working towards it, then I'd also be happy to help out to some degree with, you know, a bit of mentoring, whatever that may be, to help them achieve that sort of recognition, because it is a big thing in our industry, and it can be a difficult process to do. So that's something that I think is worth saying.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so on this video, I'm going to put links below to both Lee and me. So decide who you like the most and contact that person. So my last question is, obviously you're working very hard on the business, but you've got a young family. What do you do to switch off? What do you do outside of work to you know, when you're not busy on the business?
Yeah, outside of work, well, as you mentioned, I've got a young family, so I've got 3 daughters, all well, 5 and under. So there isn't much personal time, if I'm honest. But I love spending time with my kids, and that was one of the reasons for setting the business up, to be honest. In the early days, is to have that flexibility to make sure that my family time, the time with my kids, especially while they're so young, it's so important, and to make sure that I can do that. And I'd want that for anyone else who comes and works for the business as well. You know, to me, that's why we do this. And that's where a lot of my energy goes, especially outside of work. When the kids are in bed, I love film, I love TV. And yeah, if you get me started on a conversation about that, we could probably talk for hours. But the majority of my free time, like I say, is looking after and raising and having fun with the kids.
Yeah, well, that word free time isn't going to exist for the next sort of 10 to 15 years. But
Absolutely
brilliant.
not.
Really good to talk to you. If anyone's watching this, I hope that it was useful to see it, and we'll be posting it in various places. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.